Hey, it's Roan. We're trying out this new format and style of video, which is a little bit longer, but not quite so long, a little bit under 10 minutes. But my intention remains true, that you have better approach and better perspectives and better strategies and techniques so you can handle your relationships better. You have higher intelligence, higher emotional intelligence, and develop strategies for enlightenment. What I want to talk about is the correlation between intelligence and jealousy. Jealousy is incredibly pervasive and endemic in a relationship. Jealousy is one of those among the many things that we take as granted in our lives, the many problems that we have in relationships, one of them being jealousy. What is the correlation between jealousy and intelligence? I've been known to say this funny bit, and it goes like this: jealousy makes you an idiot. And I'm going to explain that to you a little bit further, and I promise you it won't be so offensive, and it makes logical sense, it's reasonable, and it's true. And I'm going to prove it to you. The reason why I want to prove it to you is because you should never believe what anyone says unless you have experienced it for yourself. Perspectives is wonderful. It's incredibly important for your life to be successful. Perspective is great, but you can't have confidence without experience. I want to leave that alone for now. Let's go back. What is the correlation between intelligence and jealousy? We humans have this wonderful ability that separates us from other animals, and that is we as humans can make reasonable decisions on what we can predict to be the most likely outcomes of what's likely, predictable, and what's most pleasurable. And we make our decisions based on that. We base our behaviors based on those reasoned choices, reasoned allocations of data. Animals, they merely act on instinct. They don't have what we have, the frontal cortex, that makes us human, so makes us evolve and develop things the way that we do now. It's a wonderful thing. And this is what gives us intelligence. You understand? Now there's things like emotional intelligence, which is our ability to be able to delineate what's primal and how we can interact with our primal nature, our sexuality with other humans in a way that builds community, that doesn't offend other people's ethics, that is ethical. We humans are the only beings that have the ability to be ethical, because ethics is a completely human-made epithet. It's a human-made idea. Honor is a luxury. The only reason other people are not stealing your food is because there's enough food. Once food goes away, honor is a questionable thing. Going back, ethics, right and wrong, are a completely human-made epithet. So jealousy, once you recognize that your intelligence is your ability to make more delineations. It's your ability to make more distinguishes. You distinguish this between this. Look at anyone who has higher intelligence. They have higher intelligence because they have more of an ability to make more delineations. Understand? Think about that for a second. A person of intelligence can make more delineations. Either it's because from experience, from that field. Albert Einstein studied light for over a decade. He has then the ability to make more delineations about particular things such as light. But did Albert Einstein have the ability to make more delineations about relationships, about baking, about automobiles. No. The reason why is because his delineations were subjective to that thing in which he devoted his life studying. Now, this is why you shouldn't be offended by my notion that jealousy makes you an idiot. Going back, recognizing that intelligence is your ability to make more delineations. The more delineations you can make, the more intelligent you are. The less delineations you can make, the more you have to rely on your primal instincts, just like animals who merely act and merely behave on primal instincts. Makes you less intelligent. Have you got that definition down? The more delineation you can make, the more intelligent you are. The less delineations you can make, the less intelligent you are. With that said, jealousy. What is jealousy? Jealousy is merely a compound emotion of two emotions. And those two emotions are fear of loss. And then the second emotion, the rage you feel from feeling that fear of loss. Those two emotions compounded on each other create jealousy. How do you know this? How can you prove this to yourself? I want you to think of any jealousy in which you felt in the past where you didn't have fear of loss and you did not have the rage, you did not have the rage from feeling that fear of loss. There was no such incident. There was no such thing. There was no such occurrence when you felt jealousy where you had no fear of loss and you had no rage from feeling that fear of loss. Understand? It's merely a compound emotion of fear of loss and rage from feeling that fear of loss. I want you to think about this. When you are in a relationship with somebody, it's presumably about love, isn't it? For most of us, we presume it's about love. And I say this is because there's many other formats of relationships which does not include love, which are perfectly viable. This is why a lot of arranged marriages worked. It's because they recognized it was arranged. They recognized it was about power. It was about real estate. It was about resources. It was about family getting bigger. Whether it's their immediate family or the family of the husband and the family of the wife. You understand? So it's presumably, when nowadays people presume it to be about love, they take it as granted it's supposed to be about love. Now, if you presume your relationship is about love, where does jealousy come into that? In fact, jealousy is a demonstration of your lack of love. How so? If you love somebody, what is your definition of love? There are as many definitions of love as there are people you ask. In other words, love, just like any word, has no meaning. It only has meaning when you agree upon the meanings of things. You have to agree upon the definition of love for you to be able to talk about love. Love, by my definition, is the best definition, is the definition most reasonable to me. Studying this for well over a decade, well over 15 years. Love is your wanting for your beloved's happiness intrinsic to your own. In other words, the same happiness that you want for yourself. You want that for your beloved. Now I want you to prove this to yourself. I want you to prove to yourself that this is actually love. How do you prove this to yourself? Well, do I want for my beloved's happiness intrinsically to my own? Do I want for their happiness? Or do I want something else? Any other thing that you want out of your relationship that has nothing to do with your wanting for their happiness, well-being, and actualization being they're getting what they'd like in life, has nothing to do with love. has more to do with what you would like for that relationship rather than what you both would like in the relationship, what you would like for them, their happiness. How do you prove this to yourself? Well, is there any kind of love that eschews your wanting for their happiness, well-being, and getting what they would like? It's true. This is what love is. This is why jealousy is a demonstration of your lack of love. Because of your fear of loss, and in the rage from feeling that fear of loss, you behave in a way in which demonstrates your lack of love, such as inhibiting them from getting what actualizes them, inhibiting them from interacting and interfacing with people in a way that fulfills them and makes them happy, makes them pleasured, whether or not you're involved and whether or not it's in the same bed. You understand? How does intelligence come into that? Recognizing that if you're still jealous, despite your recognizing that logic, makes you an idiot. Because recognizing that that is actually the logical equation for love. That jealousy is a demonstration of your lack of love. Unless you accept that your relationship is not about love, if you're still jealous, you are an idiot. You relegate yourself to an animal. You relegate yourself saying, I would rather act on my instinct, or rather, I would rather act on less reasonable things, less reasoned things, because I'd rather act less upon reason, more about whatever I feel now, which makes you less intelligent. When you can behave in a way which is more reasonable, more reasoned, more based on reason, which is, hey, this is based on reason. Who the fuck am I to inhibit my beloved, whom I presumably love, whom I'm in a relationship with, from what makes them happy, pleasured, and actualized? Fuck that. I want them to be happy and actualized because I love them. Then you're growing in your intelligence and you're growing in your emotional intelligence. You're communicating with your emotions. I'm going to leave this alone for now, but we'll talk about it in a different video. You're communicating with your emotions in a way that changes how you feel, because you can. Let me know how you feel about that. Let me know how you feel about the style of this video. If you like this, click the heart, click the thumbs up, and share this video with other people. If you want to find out more, I have a full course on successful relationships, www.successfulopen.com. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.